Another school year is starting, and AP Chemistry teachers like you are getting ready for another group of students. What you do in the first few weeks of the school year sets the stage for the rest of the year. Hi there, my name is Jeremy Krug, and I've been teaching AP Chemistry for over 25 years. In this video, I'll discuss the do's and don'ts of the first 3 weeks of your AP Chemistry course. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is the place for all things AP Chemistry for both students and teachers. So make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you won't miss a thing. I've got hundreds of videos designed to make your life easier as an AP Chem teacher. And if you find this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out the channel. The first do is get to know your students in the first few days of AP Chemistry. AP Chemistry students are among the best in the school, and students take AP Chem for different reasons. Ask them their motivation for taking the course. Are they there because they're planning on majoring in chemistry or one of the other sciences in college? Or maybe they want to focus on some other field and their goal is to get their required chemistry or science courses out of the way before college. In some cases, they're taking this class because they like you as a teacher. As you work with these students and get to know them, you can tailor your course to their needs throughout the school year. Another do review the fundamentals of chemistry. No, I'm not talking about rehashing the entire content of a first-year chemistry class. That's not necessary in the opening days of the course. But you should focus on reteaching basic skills. For example, can students use dimensional analysis to solve a problem? Can they solve that problem and give their answer with an appropriate number of significant figures? Can they make a measurement in the laboratory? Do they understand the meanings of the most common SI prefixes? To help your students review these basic skills, I've prepared what I call a Unit 0, complete with practice problems and guided notes. I've included it in my brand new teacher lessons and PowerPoints that you can get over at ultimatereviewpacket.com. Reteach these fundamentals before jumping into Unit 1. Another do review lab safety. AP Chem students spend a lot of time in the chemistry lab, so it's important that they know and follow lab safety rules. Even if you taught lab safety to the same students in a previous course, give them a fresh lab safety training. Since safety is our primary concern as students work in the lab, it's well worth it to make sure students understand all the safety rules before beginning a new course. Another do for AP Chem. In those first 3 weeks, do establish routines to help you and your students stay organized throughout the year. AP Chem is a tough course. It has a very lengthy curriculum, so students need to know what to expect every day in order to keep themselves organized. Daily and weekly routines help for this. For example, in my classroom, I have a Monday through Friday lesson plan routine. On Monday, I'm normally introducing a topic. On Tuesday, we're continuing with that topic and practicing. By Wednesday, we're probably taking a quiz and expanding our knowledge. We're probably doing some review on Thursday and maybe taking another quiz. And by Friday, we're probably in the laboratory. And then the cycle starts over again the following Monday. When students see both daily and weekly routines being followed, they know what to expect in your class and are more likely to succeed. Now that we've gone over the do's, what are some don'ts of the first few weeks of AP Chem? Well, first of all, don't assume that students remember the chemistry content from previous courses. There are a lot of topics in AP Chemistry that you very likely taught in a previous chemistry course, possibly to these very same students. For example, your students may have already learned the ideal gas law, or how to draw Lewis electron dot diagrams, or how to classify and balance chemical equations. Even though they've learned these topics, don't assume that they remember all the details. They've likely forgotten some things over the summer. Go ahead and reteach those again. On the second time through, you might not need to spend as much time on them, but don't assume that you can just skip them completely. In a similar vein, you don't want to skip Units 1 and 2. These are important fundamental concepts that lay a strong foundation for the rest of the course. Some teachers make the mistake of assigning Unit 1 and even Unit 2 to their students to self-study over the summer. Students need strong instruction for those foundational units. Here's another don't. Don't blindly follow the sequence of a textbook. Most general chemistry textbooks that are adopted for an AP course are not necessarily aligned to the AP curriculum. So if you just take a textbook and work through the chapters in order, your coverage of topics in the AP curriculum will really be hit and miss. Focus on the CED for the AP course and not so much on a textbook. Here's another don't. Don't progress so slowly through Unit 1 that you run out of time for later units. Like I said earlier, some teachers make the mistake of skipping Unit 1 completely, but other teachers go to the other extreme and they spend so much time on the early units that they run out of time for Units 8 and 9 at the end of the year. Unit 1 should be completed in about 3 weeks on a traditional school calendar, and Unit 2 should also be about 3 weeks. If you go too slow, you won't have time to complete all 9 units and to conduct a proper review at the end of the year. Right from day one, students need to know that AP Chemistry is a highly accelerated course. And from the very beginning, they need to appreciate that accelerated pace of the course. So if they can't keep up with following along with Unit 1 in 3 weeks, which is arguably the easiest unit, they're going to have trouble later on and really need to rethink if they can handle AP Chem. Another don't. Don't leave out formative assessments such as daily homework practices and quizzes. Early on in my career, I made the mistake of thinking that, since these are AP students, it's essentially a college course, so I'll treat them like college students and just give a few exams throughout the semester. This was a big mistake. AP students are high school students, and they will procrastinate if you let them. I learned very early in my career that it's important to give daily assignments, homework assignments each night. Even if it's just a couple problems, students need to be practicing AP level questions every day. I give quizzes a couple times a week to check students' understanding. The goal here is for students to practice their chemistry knowledge on a daily basis and not procrastinate or put off practicing and studying until the night before the unit exam. So formative assessments should be a fundamental part of an effective AP Chem course. Now, if you've made it this far, I want to tell you about some exciting new resources that I've just released. Over the last few years, I've had many requests from teachers for the PowerPoints that I use in my YouTube video lessons. I'm really excited to make those PowerPoints available to you over at ultimatereviewpacket.com. This packet of teacher resources includes my PowerPoints for all 9 units of the course, as well as my Unit 0 resources that I mentioned earlier. It also includes daily quizzes that you can give, covering every single one of the 91 topics in the course. It includes the guided notes that you can print off and give to your students so they can follow along during instruction. There's also a lab activity for each unit, along with a unit exam with both multiple choice and free response questions. It's available as a one-time purchase, so when you buy it once, you can use these PowerPoints and lessons for your entire teaching career. Check it out over at ultimatereviewpacket.com or by scanning the QR code on your screen. And by the way, last year I made a full set of teacher worksheets available, homework assignments and practice sets to give your students AP-style practice on every one of the topics in the course. These are available on a year-by-year license, but if you get an Ultimate Review Packet bulk license for your entire class, the worksheets are thrown in completely free of charge. So consider getting that Ultimate Review Packet for your entire class. It's the best review resource out there for AP Chem, and it's not just great for reviewing at the end of the year, but also to practice throughout the year as well. If you're interested in a bulk license for your students, check out the link in the description or scan this QR code on your screen. Hey, thanks for watching, and I want to wish every one of you all the best as you get started on this brand new school year. It's always exciting to start a new school year, looking forward to the challenges and rewards from teaching AP Chem. Have a great year. I'll see you soon.